How's it going, guys? We're here. So just to do the recap, I'm gonna be keeping my webcam over on the health side because it makes it a lot easier when doing this, showing off the skills because it brings the entire skill tree down. So nothing's changed. As for skill recap, we're gonna be doing Cloak of Shadows, which is not until level 12. We're going to be using Fade, which is not until level 18. We will not be using Shadow Master or Shadow Warrior. Weapon Block will come in really handy. We will be using Burst of Speed, of course, Claw Mastery. We're only going to be using Assassin type weapons, so only Assassin Claws. We will not be using Venom because Batman does not use poison, at least I checked. We're going off the 90s cartoon version of Batman. So none of the dorky old school versions or none of the upgraded versions of where he's just OP. None of that. So we're going like breastplates type of Batman. Think kind of Ben Affleck except 90s cartoon version. And we're going to be using Dragon Talon. I'm not going to be using any of like the Tiger Strike and stuff like that because even though it is technically a form of martial arts, we're going to be using our Blade Fury and Blade Centuries, which I don't get to level 6 until level 18. Jeez. So Tiger Strike, it just seems kind of useless in opinion. I don't know. I might integrate it in there. We'll figure out how we're going to build this. Since these are both level 1, so we might start out with that until I can reach level 6 in order to actually get the skills that we need for that. Dragon Claw, basically be using both yours, so I'll probably eventually just switch Dragon Talon with Dragon Claw since we will be dual wielding, so it should make a big difference. And then we can use our Sentry or Blade Fury and our Blade Sentinels as for like more of a distance, like something like Maggot Lair, for instance, where you're pretty much limited on their room to where you can move around, or Arcane Sanctuary. But only starting gear I gave her is pretty much the cube, so I don't worry about that. Just little elemental boosts and some stat boosts, some dexterity and stuff like that. Let me put my glasses on. The one time I actually have them in the right spot, since I can't see with this shit from far away. I think it's like nearsighted or is it far-sighted? One of the two. I can't remember which one it does. But gives them poison resistance, some dexterity, some strength. We're going to be using this eventually once we reach level 7, but since we're strictly not using shields, that's where dual wielding will come in. I haven't yet to decide which mercenary I want to use, because she's going to be an up-close character like Batman is, always up close. He does use his stealth tactics, so Cloak of Shadows will come in really handy so we can pummel them with some of our faraway gadgets. But if you ever seen Batman, if you don't know who Batman is, he's basically a comic book hero from the DC universe, not Marvel. He's in there with Superman and Wonder Woman, stuff like that. And his whole thing is basically using stealth, and he's pretty much conquered every form of martial arts that can be made. So, probably one of the most badass superheroes there is. And when the man can intimidate Superman, who's basically almost damn near invincible, it says a lot. But as usual, we'll keep the videos from like 15-20 minutes at most. I did the whole mix-up at Underworld Tournament, and eventually I got like through halfway through Underworld Tournament. I'm like, I kind of having the itch of wanting to play Diablo 2 again. And since I pretty much just do Diablo 2 challenge runs, since doing actual walkthroughs with the characters itself is just not really worth it, unless your character's like level 99, so then you have pretty much all skill points. Which right now my highest character is only like level 92 sorceress. So, and come on, Diablo's been around long enough for you guys to not really need an actual straight up walkthrough of how these characters actually work. So, we just stick with our challenge runs. Fire Blast, once again, not using any of the traps. Batman does have gadgets like EMPs and like frag grenades that they use like freeze enemies and stuff like that. Not really going to be worried about any of that stuff. We're just going to strictly more to the believable gadgets and anything else. So Claw Mastery, I don't think this really boosts it too much, does it? 3 damage. Well, 1 to 3 damage. It's not bad, I guess. Stats wise, because we're going to be using Cloak of Shadows, which is really going to help out against, especially against crowd control, duration, enemy bonus, or defense bonus, 10% enemy defense. The thing is, Cloak of Shadows does not work like blinds does with the Necromancer spell, where they pretty much limit their radius to. You know, I'm not actually sure about that. Oh no, lowers the defense for. Okay, it does it. So with the Necromancer spell blind, it lowers their sight radius to where they can only see you within a certain distance. Cloak of Shadows, however, does not do that. It just lowers the defenses. So even though Cloak of Shadows is still going to help, I still suggest putting some points into your health, because once you eventually get to Doriel usually tends to be the most end challenger. I have not yet lost to him yet. I've gotten close, and that was with a hardcore barbarian, I think it was. But even with Doriel, I still highly suggest that you actually put points in there, because even with dual block, because you'll have a higher percentage chance to block up the shield than you will with dual weapons, he's still going to hit relatively hard. He's still going to have a high enough attack rating where he'll get through your block defenses anyways. So, but with those little charm bonuses we have right now, we're at 28 dexterity and 24 strength. So let's catch up our strength up to our dex, and then we'll slowly even them out after that. So, I know a few people had nostalgia when I was playing Unreal Tournament 2004, and I have the hard disk. I didn't buy mine off of Steam, so I still have like the original like CD code and stuff like that. But when I went to test run it just by itself, runs perfectly fine. But when I go to boot with OBS, it was just like revving up like a jet engine. If you ever turn on like a PlayStation 4, I think it was, how just really powers up. Well, that's what my old PC sounds like every time I play a game that's too heavy for it. I'm trying to run OBS and that, so kind of really annoying. But I did get paid, and we hosted a wedding this weekend too, so I got a little extra bonus. So sometime within this week, I'm going to buy my gaming PC finally. So, and it says it'll take up to like 10 business days. So I'll let you guys know after that. It's gonna cost me around like $800 something, but I think that's still relatively cheap for a game PC that's like far more superior to the one I have right now. So, in basically short terms, if I could describe my PC as comparison to like cars, my PC would be like a Volkswagen, where the PC that I'm getting would be like a Porsche or a Ferrari. You know, huge difference. So hopefully, and I'll definitely test run it, make sure it all works, stuff like that, and eventually get everything re-downloaded or just transferred through USB. And I'm gonna run a few games, and the amount of power that it has, it's like 2 terabytes, like 32 gigs. I think it's like 6 or 8 gigabytes of graphic card or some crap like that. I don't remember the tower stats, but I'll leave a picture of it at the end of the video so you guys can see. And I always double and triple check and stuff like that too, and I always ask the gamer buddies, because like the heaviest games I have that I would love to put on the channel, and one of them is kind of, well, actually several of them are communal, is Rust, The Forest, Phasmophobia, and Grounded are literally my heaviest games. You know, I don't play any of the FPSs and stuff like that. It's they don't interest me, because you have games like Apex and Valorant, which are free, but I've pretty much grown out of my FPS days after Call of Duty and Battlefield. So, but those are the type that like literally my most heaviest games, and I'm pretty sure Rust is the most heaviest at like 16 something gigabytes to run it. But I have like other games too. One of them I would love to put on here that I've only beaten once, and it was like way before they even upgraded to the point where you actually needed a NVIDIA graphics card, and that was Path of Exile, or PoE. That is one game I would love to put on this channel, if I can ever remember my old account, if that even still exists. So, but not jumping any guns, not jumping on the train just yet. So, you know, once I get it all set up, I'll definitely show you guys or show it off or whatnot. So. But I hope you guys' weeks have been good. It's been like in the high goddamn 90s. It's like between 90 and 100, and it's like I want this weather to drop. And apparently yesterday we had a meteor shower, which I didn't see any meteors at all. It's like being Joe Pesci from My Cousin Vinny is like, I don't see any stars. I didn't see a damn thing. Alright, let's see here. With the assassin, it's more leaning towards your dexterity than really so your strength. Unless you plan to make like a really heavy duty assassin that's going to be used as like a gothic plate, like Saigon's armor, early in the very beginning of the game. Assassins are more based around dexterity anyways, for keeping their distance. So
dark. Perfect.
Wasting so much points in strength isn't really going to do you that much or effectively unless you plan to play something like a pure martial arts assassin, which almost no one ever does because the DPS is not worth it. I do have shadow dancers too. I got those in the pits like a year or so ago. But they're Myrmidon boots, so they require strength before you even unidentify them as like 232 something strength. So, I mean, most people just play Trap Assassin anyways because Assassin's just like Sorceress. It's squishy and she's better off just far away. She's more better off as a support character than a frontliner than anything else. So, but we're at 11 and a half minutes. So we'll, as usual, clear up the den. And, as usual, I'll just grind off the screen and then get her geared up. And then, as usual, once we get our full gear, put on player 7, and so on for that. We'll see if we continue to do more challenge runs. I have like still like a good listing of them that I want to do, but once again, I don't want to like burn myself out on Diablo 2. So we might take like little miniature breaks, something like that. I have a few backup games I want to try. So. And one of the things I can say is if you're ever a tourist and you ever decide to visit small towns or something like that, don't be a dick. Just because you think you're from a big city, you deserve all this certain treatment. Because that's like all we dealt with was this entire... I'm going to go with Tiger Strike first because it's going to put out more damage. Dealt nothing but rude goddamn people. And I work in a restaurant, so you have to have some like really thick skin. But when you just literally come in like literally acting like a straight up dick because you're from the big city, it's not gonna end well for you. 20 attack and 1 energy, 65 mana. That's actually not a bad starter level 1 amulet actually. Wait a minute. Okay, so we have lightning resistance and poison resistance. Now, something like this where Fire Blast would come in really handy. I will take that. The Tiger Strike is basically pure physical. So anything that's actually immune to physical, you're not going to do anything to it. So more so, Tiger Strike is more really for PvP than really... Okay. A rare amulet, now a rare ring. Anyways, Tiger Strike's more for PvP. God damn, 20 attack ring and 1. They know about our Batman build. Alright, who leaked it? Who told them we were doing a Batman build? Come on, you don't get this goddamn lucky. But it's more for PvP. Most people will go with like Phoenix Strike because of the elements of fire and lightning and cold. The thing is, I wish they would have designed... Well, let me clear out this group here real quick. I'll explain why I don't like Phoenix Strike. And I think it's like a really big flaw in the martial arts assassin. Come here, you little bastards. I think running into your buddy is going to help you out. Yeah, 14 minutes. The thing with, where the hell's that? With Phoenix Strike is that it works like every other one. Though if you hit it with once, you get the meteor. You hit it twice, you get chain lightning. You hit it with 3, you get the chaos of ice bolt thing. The thing is that it's based on how many times you actually strike the enemy is which elements you'll actually get. I don't like that about the Phoenix Strike because I think that's a huge default because you have to be very picky about which elements you use. What they should have done is that once you reach the 3 strike minimum, all 3 elements go off at the same time. Now, I don't know if they didn't design that because of lag purposes, because if you ever played back in the day with a Meteor Sorceress in the Throne of Destruction with Bale, they could actually lag out the entire server to the point where it would kick out everyone because the server couldn't keep up with the lag. So I don't know if that's maybe possibly the reason why Blizzard didn't design Phoenix Strike like that. If that's the case, it would make sense. But it's one of the huge downfalls about a Phoenix Strike assassin, especially on original Diablo 2. Same thing with traps.
I'm overburdened.
No, you're not. Get that garbage out. Traps are another one where they should have made traps because they have fire. I remember this shit. You have fire and you have lightning traps, but because the the assassins also fire, lightning, ice, physical, and poison, they should have added or integrated some way entering a combination of like 2, like having a fire, ice, or more like a fire, say a fire, lightning traps, and a combination of like ice and poison traps. You know, it just makes sense. I doubt they'd ever did anything like that. They might have something to do like that with Path of Diablo or Medium XL, where they actually switched up a lot of Diablo 2's things for that. What level were we? 4?
The rogue's test is done.
But that's just my personal opinion. But Assassin's like one of the very few characters is like almost never played unless you're playing a trap. And that's only because unless you have Infinity, Assassin's pretty much useless. Sorceress is always so good because of her ability to teleport. And then you have like the Barbarian, who's like almost never played because he's just strictly up close combat. So unless you're rocking like some serious heavy gear, you know, like Chains of Honor or Fortitude, you know, a Grief, which we made like a year and a half back ago. I'm pretty sure I showed that off in one of my videos. But yeah, Barbarian's least played. Then I'd probably say something like probably Amazon, probably the second least played. Well, actually, that back now. It would be Barbarian, then Necromancer, then Amazon, then Assassin, then Druid, probably Paladin, then Sorceress. Just because strictly with the Paladin, you're just really either going for either PvP or you're going for PvE, and if you're doing that, you're just strictly make a hammered in. Sorceress is a more reliable one.
I am a
But, alright, let's see here. Yeah, see, that didn't make a difference. Oh. We're at the 18.5 minutes right now, so we're going to end the video here. Get in discussion with the Assassin, how everything's going to work, so I hope you will enjoy the new challenge. Go through all my Diablo 2 videos, look all the challenge runs. You find one that's interesting, try it out yourself, whether you're playing on the original Diablo 2 or you're playing the Diablo 2 Remastered, and see how far you can get, and leave comments below. And if you think about dropping a like, think about subscribing, leave comments below, and make sure I check them all out. See you guys.